Plaintiff Sheila Wagner and her husband Frederick say their dog was attacked by a pit bull, and they discovered it belonged to a tenant in the defendant's home. Therefore, Sheila is suing because she believes the defendant is liable for the vet bills. Defendant Jill CROSBY and her friend Dorothy say although they feel horrible about what happened to Sheila's dog, Jill insists she is not the dog's owner and therefore should not be responsible.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Yes, sir. This is Java. She's my 9-year-old pug. She means the world to us. She goes everywhere with us. We are that couple with the dog. We owned 2 liquor stores here in Charleston, and she came to work with us every day. Everyone knows her. She's like a child to us. So this was totally devastating. I opened my garage to take her for a walk, and I noticed this kid coming down the street with a pit bull. And he yelled to me, "Grab your dog," and it was too late. The pit bull grabbed her by the throat, got her down. There's a video, Judge, that you might want to look at.
I'll let you tell me first.
Okay, so it got her down on the ground, and I screamed for my husband. Him and I had to pry the dog's jaws apart to get her throat out of its mouth. We both got bit. As they were trying to the neighbors were trying to help pull the dog off. My husband laid on top of Java so we could get the other dog away from her. And
laid on top of him to keep him from continuing to maul him?
Yeah.
So he could have mauled your husband trying to get to the dog.
She's not that lucky.
No.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So the neighbors called the emergency vet and called the sheriff's department. And so we went to the emergency vet, and they don't let you in now. We had to just leave her there because of COVID. You're not allowed to go in with her. So we had to leave her there overnight. She's never been without us. So in the meantime, we had to go to urgent care to get tetanus shots for our bites. My husband still has scars. If you look at the page 13 and 14 in the evidence.
Why don't I allow them to give me some background, and then I'll look at your evidence, both the video and the pictures. Okay. Let me hear from you, Ms. CROSBY.
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to state that I am a dog lover of all dogs. Small, big, they're all animals, and it kills me to hear that this even happened. But anyway, this dog moved into my home with the tenant. The tenant moved into my home in February.
Okay.
With the dog. And the dog was very friendly with everybody, and I even have a dog myself. And they played together and had no issues at all. Never seen any kind of aggression out of the dog. And the dog, when COVID happened, the dog started staying in the bedroom because when the tenant left for the day to go to work, she was required to leave the dog in the bedroom. Just, because I didn't want responsibility of anything and watching the dog and me not being there either, So, but I told her that I wanted the dog to be walked and spent time with when she moved in. She knew that was the understanding that the dog wouldn't be in the bedroom for reasonable amount or a period of time. But I've started noticing that when COVID happened, she was staying gone to her boyfriend's house and not living there any longer. And I talked to her about it, and I have Miranda, my witness, her son had talked to the tenant and had asked her, if we could walk the dog because we felt like the dog needed to be walked more often and get some more exercise. And so she said that was no problem verbally, gave us permission to walk her dog. So before this day happened, we had walked the dog on multiple occasions, no issues whatsoever.
What do you think happened this time?
Exactly. I mean, this was horrible, situation.
You don't know what happened. That's your point? You said exactly what? You don't know what happened?
Well, I mean, it did. The dog began barking and obviously got off his leash when Luke was walking her this particular day.
That's why I was asking what was different from all the other times that you've walked the dog.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It was my son that was walking the dog. That's why I'm here. He's a minor. And according to Luke, what happened was the pug began barking, which is a normal dog thing to do. Perfectly normal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with barking, but as the pug began barking, the pit bull began pulling harder and then was able to lunge forward and get out of her collar. So the only thing that we can speculate happened is that because of the dog barking, maybe that triggered Penelope, the pit bull. That's never happened in the past.
Okay.
We've never had another dog bark at her. So that could have been what triggered the event.
So do you think you're responsible or not?
I do not feel I am responsible, and the reason being is I was not the dog walker, and the dog was not on my premises at the time, and I do not own the dog. I feel like, the dog owner should have some responsibility in this, as I do feel very bad about the situation. And I do feel like it's not the plaintiff's responsibility to pay these bills at all. But I do, feel like the owner should have some responsibility.
All right. Let me look at the pictures. What pictures did you want me to see, ma'am?
Okay, Your Honor. The 13 and 14 are my husband's finger. Every finger on both hands was bitten. The dog's tooth went straight through one of his forefinger.
All right. And you wanted to show me a video?
There's a video.
Yeah.
Let's get back here.
Trying to pull him from under there. I've never seen a pit bull attack. Wow. I've never been to the dog fighting where that's what they do. The pit bulls attack each other, but I've never seen this in my life.
I'm very sorry.
I get myself together.
No dog owner should have to go through that.
Yeah. I have 2 dogs and have had dogs all my life. Like most things, people put themselves in that position. And it's just heartbreaking to see that happen to you all's dog.
Your Honor, but I wouldn't even be here today if she had come over, put a note in my box, called me, anything. This woman didn't even have the decency to come over or find out if the dog lived. They sent the kid around the neighborhood to ask if the dog lived. They went to other neighbors and asked them to find out.
Now, I will comment on that. Miranda and I talked about coming to your house on multiple occasions. I even had told Miranda that I wanted to take your dog a little gift, and Miranda didn't feel like, she felt, our opinion after talking about it was we didn't want to, come up your house and getting your personal privacy if you were still trying to get over a traumatic situation. And we didn't want it to look like we were trying to buy you off either.
I think that was the main thing. It was horrifying to both of us. And we were so mortified that it was like, do we knock on a perfect stranger's front door and say, hi, I don't know if you remember me, because I did come after the incident happened, and it was just incredibly awkward. Perhaps we should have pushed past that awkwardness, but in this day and time, especially with COVID, we just didn't know whether it was appropriate.
Maybe you should have sent her a message somehow, but I understand you're not wanting to go and approach her until things have settled down a little and she's forgiving at that point, because if it had happened to me and you came and approached me anytime within several days, I would probably curse you out, and it wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be a nice scene. So perhaps you all did right in that area to avoid a scene. I do understand how you might feel the liability should be shared, but I can only go by the law. I think that dog was a vicious, dangerous dog. The law categorizes him as that, and he shouldn't be left with anyone other than the owner or the owner's household. Unfortunately, you took control and authority over the dog. Even if it was your son that walked it, you're responsible for the minor. So certainly you're responsible for the minor walking a dog that you know is vicious and dangerous, or you should, and you have taken control over the dog and authority over the dog. So you're liable. Can you sue the owner? Perhaps you might be able to, because if the owner knew of that dog's vicious and dangerous behavior that may have occurred in the past and didn't tell you that, then she's liable for neglecting to tell you something that she should have in order to prevent what has occurred, to prevent an incident. And so I'm going to grant her judgment, Ms. Wagner's judgment, and my advice to you is evaluate what I just said. I don't know the discussion with the dog owner. So, judgment for the plaintiff. That's the doggy there? What's his name?
It's Jabba the Hutt.
All right, Jabba the Hutt. He's looking good. All right. He look a little tired. Pain pills got him high off them opioids. All right, judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm just glad your dog is healing and on his way to, good health. And
Thank you.
Thank you.